Yeah, crypto friends, the show starts now. Welcome to the Weekly Roundtable, where the takes are hot and FOMO set to disable. Welcome to the Weekly Roundtable, where friends are made and we all drink that red maple. Break. Juan's got his eyes on the latest somehow. We mean forex that make you go wild. Crypto crazy is a man on a mission like a Tesla. He most def got a vision. Weekly Roundtable, we got no cables. Predicting the future using their bagels. Chart is throwing out numbers, no trouble. He finds the gems for real, no struggle. Calculations running through your mind. Weighing up.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this week's stream. This week's episode of the Weekly Roundtable is a lot to go over. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering what the hell is going on in the market. Bitcoin seems to be crashing. Altcoins are having quite a hit. A little bit of recovery going on right now, but we'll go over some of the reasons possible for that and a lot of other news, including what's going on with Coinbase and the freezing of accounts. We have a little bit of information to share about that, as well as some other data and charts as well. I'd like to welcome up the panel. Crypto Cruiser, how you doing, sir?
Good, very good. Thank you. Good
Awesome.
to be here.
Terry, welcome back. It's been a few weeks since you've been on. It's good to see you. How you doing?
Good evening. Doing well. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's get right to it. No point in waiting because there's a lot to go over, like I said. We will start with the Bitcoin chart. I'm sure that's what everyone wants to see. Okay. So right now, currently, we are at 97,680. We have had a little bit of a recovery. As you can see from the top a few days ago till now, we are, or to the wick actually, down almost 12%, about 12%. And currently we are down around 10%. It's normal in bull markets. We usually have, well, look at that. We usually have really big dips throughout the bull market, especially when we have the run that we had. Bitcoin went from right around the all-time high of 70,000 right up to, I believe we got to 108,000 and change without any significant dip. We did have one about 10-15%, which is really not all that much. So we were due for one. There's many reasons as to why the crash happened. Obviously, we had the Fed announce yesterday that they did do a 25 basis point rate cut, but they expect next year, instead of 3 or 4 cuts, they're expecting maybe 2. Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, also said that the U.S. can expect a little bit of higher inflation, and pretty much everything he said was negative. Although I'm not really sure how we can predict next year. He was wrong about last year, so we'll have to wait and see. But I guess it did spook the market a little bit. There are other reasons as well. So that's the Bitcoin chart. I also wanted to show the Bitcoin dominance chart. Now, this thing, it did fall off a cliff, as we showed everyone last week and even the week before. But the last couple of days, it has shot back up. Bitcoin dominance has gone from a low of around 54%. We were thinking it was going to head down to 50 or below. But, Big Daddy Bitcoin wanted to ruin the party, and it's right back up to, 59%. And so all that means, for those that don't quite understand, is when the Bitcoin dominance rises, that means liquidity in the market is going into Bitcoin and out of altcoins. What happens a lot of times as Bitcoin is going up, you may notice that your altcoins are in the red or very, very small in the green. And you're wondering, well, what the heck? When Bitcoin goes up, my altcoins should go up. But, when you're in this part of the bull market anyway, liquidity kind of shifts around, and new people in the market, they know Bitcoin, and that's what they put their money into. So that's kind of normal to see. We do like to see the dominance drop, and when that happens, altcoins begin to rip, like we did kind of see an altcoin season last week. It lasted about a week and a bit. And I'll show you that chart, how it is no longer an altcoin season. The other one I like to show is the USDT dominance. What this indicates is, as this drops, that means the money is, or the stables are less. I'll go to the weekly here. They're less sitting in the stable, and they're going into their favorite cryptos. And what happens when this goes back up, it means that people are tethering up, is the term that we like to use. So people are putting their money out of their different assets and putting it into Tether. And as you can see, there's a bit of a spike here, and we are currently on that trend line. Hopefully we get rejected here and it goes back down, which means the cash, the Tether, is going back into their favorite crypto. So we'll have to wait and see. what happens with that. Terry, it's been a while since you've been on. Well, a few weeks anyway. I'd like to hear your perspective on the market. What do you think is going on, and what do you expect to happen in the next, we'll say, week?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't think that it's really too much of a surprise that that Bitcoin corrected. We had this rising consolidation thing that I'm sorry, I was trying to share my my chart and I'm not able to do that right quick. So we had this rising consolidation at the end of an upward move. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So basically when you have this is like a rising channel at the top of a flag, right? So it's a rising flag, and that type of consolidation is just always really super suspect to me. So it just doesn't surprise me at all that we're going to come back. Also, when I was looking on the daily, you can see there's a pretty big inefficiency there. And let's see, it runs. Oh gosh. Okay, so it runs from about 81.5 to 80, a little above 85,000, right? And that's a candle inefficiency in there. It's just price moved up really quickly, and I did expect action to come back and fill it at some point. I think that may be heading towards that now. On the daily, probably short term, actually see I think we'll probably see a bounce here. I think this may be part of the correction, the first part of the correction. So I think we'll see a minor bounce here over the next couple of days, 2, 3, maybe 4 days, and then maybe more likely a try deeper for continuation down.
Okay. Do you have a target? Do you think Bitcoin needs to head to before it's finally finished its correction?
I think it'll probably bounce down a little bit lower. There is an SR, probably around the 85,000. Actually, I'd like to see it come down and hit that, and then really see momentum reverse from there.
Okay, fair enough. Nice. I've got, as you can see on the chart, I've got this liquidity area that I've had on the chart for quite a while, and you can see, Bitcoin's dipped into it quite a few times, found support at the top of this level a few times as well. This pullback today, I fully expected it to either tap on top again, right around that 94,500, or at least inside, maybe even to the bottom of the channel to about 92,000. Didn't happen, but as you said, we could not be finished yet, which is entirely possible. So we shall see what happens there. Okay, so I alluded to earlier the altcoin season. As many remember, we were up in the altcoin season area, and it has since dipped back down to 49. So we are back in neutral. We are nowhere near an altcoin season or a Bitcoin season. We're just kind of right in the middle. That is quite the decline that we had. I thought we were going to remain in that altcoin season range for a little bit longer, but didn't work out. Bitcoin had other ideas, as well as institutions and the ETFs, which I will actually show that now. I know that's kind of one of the big reasons as to why possibly we had this correction as well, or one of the contributing factors. Let's see where we are. Okay, here we go. So we've been having a lot of inflows, like plenty of inflows, with a couple of outflow days, nothing major. But today, we actually had a $428 million outflow from the ETFs. That's not great news. Probably on the heels of the FOMC announcement yesterday, with Jerome Powell being a little bit hawkish in his forecast for next year. That could be a contributing factor as well. This is probably a biggie too. I was showing Crypto Cruiser just before the stream, the liquidations. Now, this is today. Now, these new positions have been open shortly after the Bitcoin price bounced, but there was a lot of liquidation here, long liquidations in this area, and they were completely wiped out. As you can see now, we are only at, on the daily, about 1.4 billion. I'll go to the weekly here. It shows a better story as to what's going on. So you can see, very few longs in the market right now. There's a lot of fear. But look at these short liquidations. So a lot of these shorts here are accumulating. And we are at, I think we're approaching 10 billion, 9.35 billion. Wow, in short liquidation. So, if we do head a little bit lower, it might wipe out the remainder of these that opened up earlier today. But we are definitely going to eventually go up, because the way the market makers are, those manipulators. if there's liquidity in the market that could be scooped up, they are going to head in that direction. So we'll have to wait and see in the next couple of days what happens there. But those are a couple of the big contributing factors, I believe, as to the last couple of days. Just kind of an accumulation of the FOMC announcement, liquidation cascades, and the outflows on the ETFs. What do you guys think? Do you have any insight on that, Cruiser?
No, I just want to say, because I know there's viewers who may not know what any of this means, that may be newer to the crypto space. So I just wanted to point out that that liquidation chart is in relation to long and short trades, which most new people into the crypto space won't be involved in yet if they're smart. It takes a lot of knowledge and practice to.
You got to know what you're doing, or you'll get wrecked real fast.
Yeah, so I just wanted to point out that that's referring to long and short leverage trading. Trading in general. Okay. So in case you didn't know.
Yeah, thanks for that explanation. I guess I should have mentioned that, considering that we are, I do mention Bitunix, which is the price on this channel and the one that I use personally. But yeah, you definitely don't want to do any leverage trading unless you know what you're doing and you kind of understand the market. You know a little bit of TA. Terry, do you have any insights as to other reasons why the price dipped the way it has the last couple of days?
No, I guess my comment would be that markets follow liquidity, and that's one of the reasons that I think tracking the potential liquidations is important. When you see them accumulating, it may be a quick one, but it really makes me think there's going to be a grab or a scoop with some of that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's going to happen at some point for sure. Okay. The other thing I wanted to show. Go ahead.
Yeah, just one last comment on Bitcoin that I wanted to point out. Again, for the newer viewers and newer people to the crypto space, just so you can get the magnitude of what Bitcoin's all about. It's sitting at number 7 on the list of assets by market cap.
So it's overall market cap. Yeah,
overall market cap. So it's way ahead of silver now. Still a long ways to go up to gold, but in contrast, Ethereum has fallen to number 27. So, and that's the overall market cap for assets across the market.
Now, to put it in perspective, in the last 2 days, it's not only the crypto market that has crashed; the traditional market has as well. Now, the crypto market, there was $1.8 billion liquidated in the market in the last 24 hours. However, the traditional finance market, the traditional stocks in the US, they fell 1.5 trillion. Now, think about that. 1.5 trillion in 24 hours is half of the entire cryptocurrency market cap. So that kind of puts it in perspective just how big the actual US stock market is in comparison to Bitcoin. Last chart I did want to show here is the MBRV. Now, we're going to continue to show this as the bull market rages on because it's kind of an indicator as to, when we possibly could be near the cycle top. And that's very, very important for us to be able to share with you guys, because when it gets close to the top, you definitely want to be taking profits and getting out of the market. You don't want to be left holding onto your bag and riding it all the way down into the bear market like I did. I was guilty of it. I wrote almost everything I had last market down, not knowing that the market was over, because I would listen to influencers who were just, trying to pump their bags and keep the market going. When we hit that second top of 69,000 in the last market, they were all yelling, "Yeah, we're going to hit 100,000. No problem. We're heading there," which it could have very well have happened if it wasn't for, there was FTX, and I'm sure there were other factors involved, but we kind of got left with our pants down in the last market. So I want to make sure that this time that myself, everyone following the channel, are prepared for when we could be near the top. So anyway, the way this works is you have the Bitcoin MBRB, and then the Bitcoin price in yellow. And as you can see in previous cycles, it got up near the 10. Like over here, this is the levels, and it got up near the 10 mark on this chart. And right now we are sitting at a 3.1. So we're nowhere near. But when this does start creeping up, probably surpassing price as price goes up. But once we get to this 10, That's when you know it's overheated and we're getting there. There are other indicators as well that we will show as the market goes on, just so that people are prepared as to what possibly could happen. Okay, so we'll get into the rest of the charts after. Let's get into some news now. The first one, Cruiser, I'll get to you in a second because I know you have some information on what's going on with Coinbase. But I also wanted to mention here that there's a major fake phishing email link that's going around. I got it myself, and a couple of people at work actually got it as well. They're getting your email. I'm not sure how, from obviously some platform in crypto, but they're sending an email claiming that your information has been breached. And they're claiming that they're from a certain exchange, probably one that you are using. How they get this information, I'm not really sure. But they send a link and say, click on the link and put your information, and they can let you know exactly what's been affected and yada, yada. Do not click on the link. Do not click on any unknown links. It doesn't matter if it looks legit. It doesn't matter if you get it through email, on Telegram, Discord. It doesn't matter where it is. Do not click on links that you are unsure of. And if you ever do, want to find out what it is, maybe save the link and open it on a browser that is not linked to any of your crypto or anything like that. If you do want to check out what it is, but 9 times out of 10, it's a scam. Just delete it. If it's important, it'll show up on the actual app or exchange that you're using when you are on there. So there's no need to click any links through email or anything like that. That's just kind of it's one of the main things that I can preach to help you stay safe. And speaking of which, don't forget, nothing on this channel is financial advice. It's strictly for entertainment purposes only. We like to try and bring awareness and education to the space, but nothing is financial advice. We are not financial advisors, obviously. So moving on, I had already mentioned the liquidations, but the last thing I wanted to bring is everyone. It's no secret that this channel, we are pro Solana. Everybody here loves Solana. Degens, which is where Terry is from, which we do have the links in the description for their Discord and the newsletter, the weekly newsletter that they have. They are on the Solana network, their NFT project. So one thing I wanted to bring up is that last month, November, Solana actually captured 53% of all users, new and old, in the crypto market. Solana's market dominance this cycle. The price may not be reflecting how well it's actually doing lately. It did sort of all-time highs. It has retraced, although if you look at their chart, which we can look at another time, it's forming a nice descending channel, which 9 times out of 10 breaks out to the upside. We did have a little bit of a dip the last 24 hours. Everything follows Bitcoin, so whatever Bitcoin does, the altcoins definitely follow. But it maintained that structure, so we could see another explosion in Solana's price in the coming weeks. But that's it was an interesting stat. 53% of all users went to Solana. That's the entire crypto market. Just over half went to Solana alone, which is amazing to see. Now, we do have some rumors about, not rumors, but fact, but rumors as to why Coinbase has been freezing accounts. Now, I know Cruz has been doing a little bit of information, a little bit of a dive on that. So what's your update on that, Cruiser?
Well, what we know is, according to Coinbase, there are about 108 million registered users, and currently about 3%, so that's a little more than 3 million, are restricted or locked out. And a lot of people don't know why they're being locked out, but it's an AI algorithm within Coinbase that is flagging accounts based on things like terms of service violation, hacking attempts, signs of fraud. And then there's things as simple as not completing your KYC, or logging into Coinbase using a VPN will also trigger that algorithm. It can be as simple as re-verifying your login information that can get your account unlocked, but to this point, that's very few out of the bunch that are being successful that way. So basically what happens is they're flagging these accounts, and then Coinbase has a compliance team that has to manually review these accounts, and you're talking like 3 million accounts locked up. how long is that going to take
Yeah.
for Coinbase to review these accounts, right? And it's essentially over ridiculous things. It's not anything anybody's doing wrong. And like you pointed out earlier, even the U.S. government has their Coinbase account locked up.
Let me show this on screen right now, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this is the notice, USA Gov. Coinbase has restricted our account without any explanation, and support refuses to provide clarity as a new. Which is pretty crazy.
It is. Now, there is another scenario that Coinbase has been locking up accounts, and this is the one that's really it's really rubbing the people the wrong way. Let me get this right because I had to write this one down. The Financial Action Task Force, so the FATF, down in the U.S. has ordered Coinbase to report any transactions over $1,000. That's whether you're buying or selling. And some users, and I'm not sure how the users are defined or picked out of the crowd, so to speak, but some of these users are being requested to in the case of a purchase, verify where their funds came from, and if they're selling over $1,000 worth of crypto or anything on the exchange into fiat, they want to know where it's going, and I'm not sure that's rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. And a lot of people aren't willing to give up that information, so that's causing a lot of tension between users or among users rather. And just one last note on that: there are lawsuits being filed by numerous users around the state against Coinbase for locking their accounts and withholding their funds and their assets. There are some accounts that have been locked up for months and months, and even in the case of a few, for as long as a year.
Yeah, or longer.
Yeah, or longer. Yeah, there are some that are even much longer than that. For those of us in Ontario, I guess it doesn't matter either way. There's not much we can do, no more than anybody else. But the Superior Court of Canada has ordered that they've ordered a permanent stay of action against Coinbase, meaning nobody in Canada can file a lawsuit against Coinbase for freezing their account. And the reason for that is because the Superior Court of Canada says that Coinbase isn't Canadian based, so we have no jurisdiction to sue them. So again, rubbing a lot of Canadians the wrong way, because a lot of Canadians, about 15% have, out of that 3%, 3 million accounts, about 15% of them are Canadian.
Well, the thing I'm hearing that people are really annoyed about is when they get this notice that their account is being suspended, they give them a timeline telling that it will be unsuspended or freed up 3 months down the road, or gives them a specific date, and there's nothing they can do about it. You can get a hold of customer service all you want, but they're not going to do anything because it's the algorithm or however it is done on Coinbase's side, and you can't you can't undo it. What's done is done, and you just got to wait your time. Like, that's ridiculous, especially if your accounts are getting frozen now. We're in the approaching the euphoric part of the bull market, and by the time these people that get their Coinbase account back unfrozen, they're probably heading into the bear, and they've lost out on all those gains.
They lost a lot.
Now you can see on the screen here some of the criteria: suspicious activity, your location, depending on where you are, whether it's restricted or not, payment method, limited to specific transactions, chargeback disputes, holding period for different transactions that you do, security issue, which is I don't understand how you can have a security issue if you passed your KYC and you have your account and this and that. Other factors that affect your account include account verification, purchase history, payment type, account activity, and trade history. So I don't know why that would affect, but pretty much you can't use your account, or the AI will, possibly flag it. It's very, very, very strange. I don't understand.
The account activity part, from what I've learned, if you're logging in from your Coinbase account from multiple computers, which I'm not sure why people would do, but I guess it happens. And I mean, just the VPN is a whole different issue, but if you log into your Coinbase account from 5 different computers over the course of a week, for whatever reason, or 5 different locations, that will flag it. And I can't say I'm 100% against that, because that could be a safety measure as well. If somebody is trying to hack your account, at least they are flagging it. But to have it locked up for any length of time because of that, that's a little far-fetched.
So I searched it on X just to see if we could find anything, and December 16th, 3 days ago. So you've got, stop scamming people. There's a lot of people that are in on X, messaging Coinbase or tweeting about it. It seems to be an issue. Reviewing your account, like, this is all recent, within the last week. All these people are having issues with their Coinbase account. So be very careful out there. I myself personally, we're up here in Canada. I don't use Coinbase, even though it's available. I've heard too many bad things. They're expensive. They're outrageous. And just the cost to transact on Coinbase is ridiculous. So I stay with Coinbase.
I've used Coinbase for the past about a year, but it was about a month ago. I took everything out, transferred it to another exchange, for no other reason than I just wanted to reduce how many different exchanges I was using. But I never did any large transactions on it either, but I never did have any issues with Coinbase for the short time that I used it.
Anything to add on that, Terry? I know you weren't really familiar with this news, but I'm not sure if you've heard anything about it.
Yeah, no, not that particular one, but for me, this just it drives home the argument that very, very simply, if you want control of your digital assets, self-custody is the only way to ensure that.
Yeah, exactly. Not your keys, not your crypto, as they say.
Yeah.
So it's always best to use a hardware wallet, whether it be Trezor or the one that I like to use is a Ledger. They have different ledgers out there. They have the stacks. They have a brand new one out, LCD display and all that kind of stuff. They also have the LAPAL, which we gave away on the channel a few months back. So there's quite a few options out there. But yeah, you're right there. It's always best to be on a hardware wallet. Now, sticking on the Coinbase theme just for a second here, I also saw an article that Coinbase is feeling pressure, legal pressure for delisting wrapped Bitcoin. There's a lot of people that were using that on Coinbase. Wrapped Bitcoin, for those that don't know, it's not actual Bitcoin, but it's kind of converted. It's like an IOU. You can use it in DeFi or different platforms like that for staking and whatnot. And so Coinbase has delisted it. A lot of people are up in arms about that. Coinbase is also considering delisting USDT. So they're in a lot of hot water when it comes to crypto. I'm not sure why they're doing some of the things they're doing. It's almost like they are, trying to protect their own butt from SEC regulation. However, we all know that the incoming administration in the States, they are no longer really going to be enforcing. Well, they're going to enforce crypto, but they're not going to regulate by enforcement like the current SEC is doing. So once the new administration takes form and the new SEC chair is in place, stuff like this probably won't happen. They'll work together and then come up with solutions, as opposed to being taken to court and sued like they currently are. So we will continue the news on Coinbase as we find out more. But like I said, and as Terry mentioned, use platforms like Coinbase, but not Coinbase itself. There's other ones out there. You got Binance, you got Crypto.com. There's a whole bunch of different ones where if you need for the remainder of the bull. Sorry, it's got a bit of a glitch. Oh, okay, we're back. Okay, so back to the news.
Just one final thought.
I did want to share. Yeah, go ahead.
Just one final thought on Coinbase. It should be noted, the last bull market, this same sort of thing happened on a lesser scale. So I think it has a lot to do with the sheer volume that Coinbase is experiencing.
I tend to disagree with that. It's been around long enough that they have the infrastructure for it. I think it has more to do.
I agree.
People don't want to admit it, but exchanges like what just happened with Margex not too long ago. There were way too many people making money on trades, especially using doing XRP. They don't want to lose their shirt, so they'll cut it off. They'll put a stop to it. They'll come up with an excuse as to what happened. And I think with Coinbase, we're heading into this part of the market. They don't want too many people taking profits. I'll be honest, because it's not that they're going to lose money, but they're going to lose money, and they don't want that. So they do whatever they can, I think, because I don't trust Brian Armstrong as far as I can throw him. But they're probably doing what they can legally, or they could say, not our fault, it's the AI. They're trying to find a way so that people don't take profits off the exchange. That's just my 2 cents. I know it happened with FTX a little bit before that whole collapse, but
just to clarify, I just meant the sheer volume of locked accounts.
Oh, volume of locked accounts. Yeah.
Where we are in the market and the influx of users all of a sudden. The same thing happened in the bull market or the last bull market. The locked accounts went through the roof just because of how many people jumped on board at the high point, really. So that was my only point there. Is just the volume is because of the influx.
Okay. This is an article I found on Milk Road. It's it's a write-up or a newsletter or whatever you want to call it that I get every once in a while, and they kind of have their take onto as to why the market dipped. Now, well, first of all, I'm going to give it a refresh because the fear and greed index still says we're at a 75, which is completely possible. I mean, we could be, yeah. Okay, so we are. Bitcoin 98,000, ETH 34.99, and Solana 194. So anyway, it says here, if you ever randomly fainted, you'll know it's a weird experience. Yada yada. So they're just comparing, fainting or whatever to the market. You wake up one morning and Bitcoin is down. So the S&P. Oh, this is the stock market, the S&P 500 index as well, which, as you can see, 3 nice big red candles there. Pretty much looks the same as a Bitcoin chart. This is another reason why the U.S. dollar, it broke out of its channel that it had been riding in for quite a while. It's going all the way back to late 2023, and it broke out to the upside, which I'm not really sure why the U.S. dollar is so strong right now with everything that's going on. Pending war, the new administration coming in, them spending money like crazy. The deficit, so many things going on in the U.S., but yet the dollar remains strong, which is very, very strange. So can we expect? This just mentions that Jay Powell got to yapping yesterday. He announced the rate cut, which we had mentioned previously, and then he gave the revised 3-year plan or the revised plan to have 3 cuts in 2025 down to 2. And that the new targeted inflation rate would be 2.5 instead of 2.1. So he's projecting inflation to go up. That's why he has brought the rate cuts from 3 down to 2 as originally planned. And loans, credit repayments will stay higher than previously expected. So like I said, he's very hawkish for next year. I'm not really sure why. The economy has been getting better, has been strengthening. A lot of people believe that the plan that Trump has in place is supposed to do really well for the economy, but Jerome Powell seems to think that it's not going to get better, it's going to get worse, which I don't understand. The only way it would have gotten worse is if the Democrats were re-voted back in. That's just my opinion, of course. I could be completely wrong, but the track that they were on was a track to a brick wall, not to financial freedom. Anyway, so as I had mentioned, that the dollar dropping and the ETF outflows and then the hawkish stance by Jerome Powell seems to be all three contributors to what happened in the last 2 days and quite continuing to happen. I just had a quick look at the chart here. Nope, we're remaining steady around 97,423. So all good there. Juan couldn't join us tonight. I'm not sure if he's going to be coming late. He's stuck in Christmas traffic with the wife. He's kind of annoyed right now, but that's this time of year for you. We have less than a week until Christmas, which is amazing. Wishing everybody out there a Merry Christmas now before next week, because Christmas will have passed. So he's going to have a report. I guess we'll wait till next week about Cardano. Apparently, Charles Hoskinson has separated himself from the Cardano Foundation. So we'll get a little bit more on that next week. Seems to be a little bit of turmoil between those two. I'm not sure how that's going to affect the ADA price. Probably not at all, but you never know. The way the markets are, any news, good or bad, can be reflected on the price. Anything to add to that, Cruiser, about the Cardano, or you just want to wait till next week till Juan does his report? Oh, can't hear you. Or you're muted.
My apologies. No, I'm not too familiar with the Cardano situation yet. So yeah, waiting on Juan's report.
Okay. This past Tuesday, the RLUSD stablecoin, I know we've mentioned it before, for the XRP or Ripple for XRP, has finally launched. It launched on Tuesday. And a lot of people are saying, well, why does Ripple need a stablecoin? Well, why wouldn't they? I mean, every project, I believe, should have their a native stablecoin they can use for DeFi, for staking and all that kind of good stuff. But the difference between the RLUSD and USDC and USDT is that it is going to be regulated. I mean, there's pros and cons to that. A lot of people are saying, XRP, they're centralized and this and that. But, that partially may be true. But I think in order to thrive in what they want to be, like a cross-border payment system and in the banks, they kind of have to be in the pocket of the bank somewhat, at least regulated, regulation-wise. Now, okay. I kind of touched on this last week, and I think I really need to reiterate it this week because we've had quite the dip. There's going to be a lot of new people in the market now. There have been, like as I mentioned about the Solana capturing 53% of all of the new users and current users. Your natural reaction when we have days like yesterday and today is to sell. You're the human emotion. You get into this self-preservation mode. So the first thing you think of when you see a big red candle is to sell your assets because you don't want to lose your money. You're not going to lose your money. We're in a bull market. I mean, it'd be different if we were heading into a bear market or if we were in a bear market, but we're in a bull market. The best thing you can do, well, there's two things you can really do when you get days like yesterday and today. If you have extra money, dry powder as we call it, buy more. Buy when you feel comfortable, because the bigger the red candle, the better of an investment it's going to be, for the most part. Not financial advice. This is just from my experience. The second thing you can do is, if you don't have any extra money to buy the dip, obviously, is just don't do anything. Turn off your phone, off the charts, because when you look at it in a day or two from now, the price will rebound and it won't even register that your account was 15-20% lower. The two of the things we like to say in the crypto space is buy fear and sell greed, which means when you see a big red candle and there's fear in the market, you buy it, your favorite assets. And when you see a big green candle and everybody's euphoric, that's when it's time to sell and take profits. So if you don't take anything else away from this stream, please take that to heart. And just remember that when you're feeling the most fear, that's the time to do nothing. Or if you want to get deeper or buy into the market, that's a good time to buy. Terry, do you have anything to add to that? I know you've been around for quite a while. You're one of the chart masters, so you understand how this market works. What would your advice be to anyone who's new in the space?
Yeah, well, impulsive moves are usually pretty quickly recovered. I want to, I guess address first. You were talking about, don't sell just because you see that big red candle. That's usually the worst time to sell, right? I mean, if there's a big impulsive move, even if it goes a little bit lower, like I said, that very, very often there's an inefficiency left behind that gets recovered. Yeah, as far as the red and green thing, I guess a little cynical, but I say buy the blood and tears and sell hopes and dreams.
Yep, that's right. Yep, yeah, it goes hand in hand. Buy fear, sell greed. Cruiser, what about you? I know you've been in the market pretty much as long as I have, and when we got in the last bull market or just before, when we saw big red days like that, our first reaction was, "Oh my God, this thing's going to zero. We got to sell. We got to sell." So from then till now, how has your attitude changed?
Definitely made some mistakes along the way. Mostly at the beginning, of course. My mistakes now are just, misreading charts. But yeah, it was a lesson to be learned for sure. And now just to mirror your sentiment, when I see those red candles, a lot of times I do want to buy, but for me that triggers a trade because I'm actively trading. That's where I want to buy more, but also open up trades, but never selling anything this time of year, or this time in the market rather. And I generally have the attitude where I'm not selling anything anyway, regardless. So I did make those mistakes, and now I'm just holding on tight and just riding it out. But yeah, don't sell.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing the difference once you are in the market for a little while and you understand the ups and downs. Days like today and yesterday, other than full transparency, I did have a position get liquidated, but I took profits and it was a break-even trade. But even that, I wasn't worried. Like, I wasn't checking the charts every 2 minutes or had the chart right in front of me, panicking because the market was going down. I didn't care. I mean,
I kind of excited now when I see it dipping.
Yeah, I was just going to say when it dipped like yesterday, I was thinking to myself, why couldn't it just go more? Get the big dip out of the way, get rid of all that liquidity down there, so we can reset and start over. And then today, when it happened, I was like, yes, that's more like it. And if if Terry is correct, and the market continues to go down, I would love it to go down to around 85. That what kind of buying opportunity that would be? That would be amazing because I feel right now that I'm under allocated as it is. So if we do get down there, it'll be kind of like a second chance to get in at lower prices. So I welcome that. I would have no problem with that happening at all.
So just to get some insight, and maybe Terry can chime in on this. If we do get down to that 85, I mean, that chart that you showed earlier with all the shorts, because most of the longs have been liquidated. If we get down to 85, then can we expect a rapid climb back up to that 105, 106, and see those shorts liquidated, or do you think it would be more of a gradual?
I'll let Terry answer that, but my prediction would be it depends on how fast the drop is. If it's a wick down, it'll probably be a quick V recovery. But Terry, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. Although sometimes you get, I guess it's if a wick down, yeah. But if you get a closure, sometimes a low closure there, you can get a grind up. I think probably you see a fairly quick drop if it's going to go there.
I think so too.
Three or 4 days, I think, was what I was saying.
Yeah. If it gets down to that area, it'd be like a cascade event where short longs just get liquidated over and over and over. It's a snowball effect. You'll get to the bottom where there's nothing left to collect, and then bounce right back up. It may take a while to get back to the $100,000 level, but from 85 back up to like 90, 95, it won't take much time at all if it does get down there.
Right. So 3-4 days on its way down, and take a week or so to come back up.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah. I do want to share one more screen here. For all those XRP fans. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, one thing I do want to say about that, I was going to mention it before, is the week after Christmas, the week before Christmas, but the week after Christmas is typically a really super flat week. You have people tax loss harvesting and stuff in, like, this is in traditional markets and crypto, that there's just a lot going on. People have spent a lot of money for the holidays. There's just not a lot of capital coming into the markets at that time. So action tends to be pretty flat, pretty soggy.
I agree. I did have actually one question, Terry. I want to see if you concur, or theory. I mean, like, a lot of people are saying that there's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event when the inauguration happens and Trump takes over office down in the States. Now, my theory is, I think you're right. The week after Christmas, or that week leading into New Year's, and then even a day or two after New Year's, there won't really be much happening, maybe a little bit of down. But after that, I think from, we'll say the 3rd or 4th of January down to about the 18th, 17th, 18th, a couple of days before the actual inauguration, I think we're going to have a pretty good market, crypto market and stocks. But then after that, I think we might see another correction. Do you see that happening, or do you have a different outlook?
Yeah, that sounds completely reasonable, actually, and that definitely sounds like a sell the news kind of event, right, when it happens, because I don't think that Trump himself is going to make that much of a change. I mean, the administration is pro crypto and everything, that's good, but like, it's not like some magic thing's going to happen the day that he's inaugurated, right, to make crypto prices go up. So, expecting that sole event to do something for the price is kind of silly. And so I think when the price goes up, some people are going to be disappointed and sell.
Yeah, I think it'll just be a lead up, because he is so pro crypto. So everyone's thinking, oh, we're getting close to the inauguration, buy in anticipation of the crypto pumping. And then when it happens, all the whales and smart people dump and cause of the sell the news, which, yeah, I can see that totally happening. So as I mentioned, for those XRP fans out there, I know we have a lot of people that love XRP. We're talking about the descending channel. XRP is one of the few that actually broke out to the upside quickly, only about halfway through it. Excuse me. And it has since retested, even on today's dip. Wick down just a little bit, but we are moving back up now. So that is one of the few. The other ones that I was checking was Sui and Solana. HBAR was another one. They're all still in their descending channels, and even after today's dip, they did wick below. They got right back in. So anybody that is a fan of XRP, a little bit of bullish news there. We could see some expedited upside for XRP as compared to the rest of the market. We'll see what happens. I think that about does it. I just want to remind everybody, thanks for joining. Please, if you are here and if you watch the video, it helps a lot if you subscribe to the channel and like the video. Go through our library. We might have something for you. We have something for everybody. We've got different altcoins that we've done videos on. Of course, all of our live streams. And we've had numerous guests along the way. So if you could subscribe and give a like to a video that you like, that would really help the channel. And also down in the description, there is a link for Bitunix. They are a channel sponsor. We don't get any paid advertisement or anything from them. They simply gave us an affiliate link. So anyone that wants to get into trading, please only do it if you know what you're doing, have a little bit of experience, maybe do some paper trading and practice. But if you do want a new exchange with no KYC or no VPN required, you can trade from anywhere. Very good liquidity, 200 million a day volume, over 1 million users, and one-to-one liquidity backed. Asset backed. It's perfect exchange for you. Nice UI, looks kind of like Bybit. Yeah, give it a go and use the link. It really helps the channel. Appreciate it. Any last words, gentlemen? Anything from you, Terry?
No, happy trading. Happy holidays, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you for joining this week, Terry. Cruiser, yourself.
I just want to say happy holidays to everybody, and just to let everybody know that it sounds like we will be streaming on Boxing Day.
Yeah, we're going to stream next week. Yep.
Yeah, just to let everybody know. So if you're looking for something to do after that turkey hangover, we'll be on next week as usual.
Awesome. Okay, gentlemen, thank you again, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good night.
Get the roundtable ready, yeah. Yeah, crypto friends, the show starts now. Welcome to the weekly roundtable, where the takes are hot and FOMO set to disable. Welcome to the weekly roundtable, where friends are made and we all drink that red maple. Break. Juan's got his eyes on the latest somehow. We being forex that make you go wild. Crypto crazy is a man on a mission like a Tesla. He most def got a vision. Weekly roundtable, we got no cables predicting the